Hi everyone, hi, welcome. So welcome to Ghostlight. I'm really excited about this project. I've been working on the AD as this because Shelby is a woman of infinite talent but not infinite eyes, so I'm here to be like, you're doing great. I'm so excited for this project. I've been working on, I haven't told Shelby this, but this is our 10th show working together, which is crazy. And that's including original films, or original short films, original plays, and now a one-woman show, which is ridiculous. And Shelby, I wanted to say this anecdote. Shelby, the one thing that she, that is famous about her that always makes me laugh is that she thinks she could land a plane without any practice. Which is the one thing I've seen her not do yet. But I think this is equivalent to doing that, which writing, producing, directing a one-woman show. I think that's like, there will be lots of flashing lights, beware, mega seizure warning. Lots of mega. Violence, talks about death. If anyone needs to leave, both of these doors are available to be open. Nobody will be using them, and the aisles will be completely open. Yeah, enjoy the show, and join me in giving a huge round of applause to Shelby Barrett.
What happens when we die? That's the big question, right? And we've tried to answer it. Our entire existence, we've tried to answer it. Heaven, hell, reincarnation, oblivion, ghosts. Ghosts. To me, ghosts are more tragic than scary. They're echoes, they're energy, they're the unknown, the great unknown. They're unexplainable, ghosts. And they've haunted every culture across the world. Throughout time, we all had ghosts. Krossu, bugbears, draugrs, banshees, Abgange, even La Llorona. And maybe they're really there. Or maybe they're a metaphysical manifestation of our constant grappling with the big question: where do we go when we leave here? That might be the big question, but that's not my big question. I could not care less where I go after I die. I was raised an atheist, couldn't give less of a fuck. No, it's what we leave behind that's plagued me. And I didn't think I was going to be an actor when I was a child. That wasn't my dream career. I was dead set for a point in time on becoming an archaeologist because I loved Indiana Jones. And then finding out the lifestyle of an archaeologist didn't exactly align with the lifestyle of Indiana Jones, put a damper on that dream, but it didn't kill it. The dream lingered, and I think it's still with me, a part of who I am, because my curiosity drove that dream. Curiosity for the past, for what through lines connect us across centuries. But rather than painstakingly brushing the dust off of a broken bowl or vase like a real-life archaeologist might, I hope tonight to brush the dust off of an echo. It wasn't the possibility of life after death that captured my young mind, but the idea that a soul, sometimes so heavy it leaves an imprint or cicatrice on the earth, and that somehow certain special people seem to be able to take a rubbing of that imprint and see the unseeable, whatever that tragic and twisted energy our biology leaves behind in death. It was that proof of humanity, that beacon in the night crying out that we are here, which became my singular obsession. But as far as I can tell, in my 22 years of living, I have never had that otherworldly encounter I so desperately searched for. A ghost I can call mine. Hey, and I searched hard, alright? I'm not talking like a Ouija board and some candles. Oh, is anyone there? No. I'm talking bringing an electromagnetic field reader to summer camp and geographically mapping out correlations between ley lines and hauntings in Europe. I was an only child. Much to do. I even had this theory that, so we were just learning about energy, right? You know, E equals MC squared and how it cannot be destroyed. Well, when you die, where does all that energy go? You know, the leftover stuff that doesn't go into the dirt. Yeah, I know, the logic is scientifically soundproof. I thought I'd win the Nobel Prize, but a part of me still wants to believe it. You know, if you got hit by a car, quick, traumatic, where does that initial violent displacement of energy go? And, well, to me, what is a soul, if not energy? So welcome to my seance. This seance is the last-ditch attempt of my Captain Ahab-esque hunt for my ghost, my white whale, if you will, of my youth. But where did this obsession with seeing a ghost begin? Well, growing up, I always had an affinity for the macabre, the otherworldly. And so I asked my dad, I asked him, you know, have you ever seen a ghost? And he confessed to me he had not seen just one ghost, but two. And so I may not have found a ghost of my own, but I did find one of his on Google Images. So my dad, he's alone in Greyfriars Kirk, which is like a really old graveyard in Edinburgh, Scotland. And it's a grey day. The sky is sort of spitting at my dad from above, and it's relatively quiet, which is unusual for such a popular tourist site. And this graveyard is historically haunted. Mackenzie's Mausoleum, also known as the Black Mausoleum, is in this graveyard, said to host one of the most notorious poltergeists. And verified accounts show people leaving nauseous with bruises, scratches, burns, and bites. And so my dad, he's strolling through this historical haunted graveyard where a lot of important people have been buried, including a dog. But he loyally guarded his master's grave for 14 years. Fun fact. So my dad, he's observing one of the gravestones, and this elderly Scot, clad in a cap, glasses, sweater, a full kilt, right, the real deal, he meanders his way over to my dad, and they strike up a conversation. He works at the church, and he introduces himself as Thomas McCree. And they start exploring the graveyard together, Thomas acting as my dad's own personal tour guide. And then they find themselves at the dog's grave, the Greyfriars dog named Bobby. Now this grave, it's littered with sticks, offerings from tourists and passerbys for a dead dog to play fetch with. And so Thomas says, in the most convincing Scottish accent you can imagine, "Do you want to leave a stick?" and so my dad, he finds a nice hefty stick, oh, perfect for throwing, and he goes to leave it on the grave. And Thomas says, no, don't leave the stick there. The dog is never there. No, come with me. And he leads my dad to the grave of the dog's owner, the grave our Bobby spent 14 years guarding. And there are no sticks on this grave. And Thomas says, he'll be here. Leave the stick. Go on. After around an hour, they find themselves back in front of the church, and my dad insists on compensating Thomas for his time and knowledge, but he kindly refuses. He goes, "Oh no, I couldn't possibly take anything from you. You're too kind." He bids him good day. And my dad, dead set on figuring out why he had been given a free tour by this kind man, he marched into the church, and he found the vicar, and he sang Thomas's praises, even offering to donate. Now, this Thomas guy must have been really something else, because my dad would not comfortably set foot in a church, let alone give money to one. And the vicar, he looks at my dad, and he says, "There's no Thomas McCree that works here." My dad says, "No. The local elderly man, he wears a cap, glasses, white hair. He says he works for the church. He must be some sort of employee or tour guide. He knew the kirk inside and out." And the vicar says, "I'm sorry. I've worked here for many years, and there's not a man by that name or that description that I've ever seen." My 9-year-old self interviewed my dad like it was a KGB interrogation. Okay? And I have to say, the stick thing with the dog, that was pretty convincing. That sounds like something only a ghost would know. So, based off of scraps that my dad remembered from his name and appearance, I hacked into the mainframe. I spent like 3 hours Googling my ass off. And I found his gravestone in Greyfriars Kirk, buried in 1835. And when I shoved a painting of the man by that name buried in that graveyard in front of my dad, the instant look of shock and recognition on his face was truer than any assuring words he could have said. I had found one of his ghosts. And the second one I hunted for a long time. On the drive up to Topanga Canyon, on my way to Shakespeare Camp. We passed through an intersection on the Pacific Coast Highway, the PCH, and Temescal Canyon Road. My dad bristled behind the wheel. Now this ghost he had seen long before our Scottish friend, long before I was even born. One night, my dad, the only sober one, sat in a Prius full of drunk people ripping down the PCH. And the interior of this car, it was overwhelming. There was laughing, shouting, chatting, music playing, too many people pressed together. And then, like a fucking beat drop, the earth stopped spinning. My dad could no longer hear the cacophony of noise, nor could he feel the chaos in the car, because there he was, his highway ghost. And for my dad, the air turned sour, and his environment was suddenly seeping with this overwhelming, palpable sorrow. Whatever tragedy had happened here, the weight of it was apparent. Standing in the middle of the intersection, my dad saw a man. He was tall, skinny, perhaps he was cool in another life. My dad later likened him to my 9th grade physics teacher, who surfed and flew planes and had 2 mismatched gemstone earrings. So like my teacher, but devoid of that beautiful reverence for living life. And his jacket hung over his skeletal frame, swallowing him up in a distinct silhouette. And he was resting his hand on the windshield of a Jeep convertible stopped at the light. And the driver didn't notice this man standing a foot away from him. And did anyone see that? My dad asked. But his question hung in the air, unanswered. And so I asked my dad recently. I asked him, how did you know he was a ghost? Was he see-through, a shadow? But no, he was there. Legit there, not see-through or spectral or whatever, but like someone had grayscaled him to the verge of almost disappearing. So not see-through, but it's like he was behind a veil. And the feeling of tragedy pervaded the space around him. It was unignorable. So I dove into research, hoping I could get lucky enough like his other ghost, find some sort of picture or detail that someone fitting that description could have died there. And I held my EMF reader in my lap that summer, every day on my way to summer camp, hoping beyond all hope it would light up when we passed over that section of road. Temescal Canyon Road and the PCH. I learned that intersection is synonymous with crashes, dating all the way back to the 50s. It's nasty stuff. So maybe it is all about violent displacement of energy, of soul. Maybe 9-year-old me was right and cracked the scientific code. I never put what we're doing tonight into practice, so when I say we're in this together, I mean it, okay? And I figured, you know, seance rules, get a bunch of people together, but we don't all have to hold hands and do that like kumbaya bullshit. I don't think, at least. And I know you especially might be wondering, right? Oh, Shelby, why aren't you making a circle on the ground for like protection? Well, the circle is closed. Okay. We want to invite the ghosts in, and more importantly, give them a way to leave. I don't know about you, but I don't want a ghost to follow me home. And so that's why I'm making a spiral, right? It's an easy way in, and then it's a long way out. And you know, it's kind of rewarding. See, we even have this nice warm light in the middle. This is a ghost light, if you don't know, and it is believed by some that every theater has a ghost, and superstition says this light appeases them. Tonight we're going to test that theory. But the most important thing is that the ghosts can leave, because who knows who we're inviting in. And all the little souls with paper-thin wings will be drawn from wherever they are to right here, to this light, this energy, this moment with us. Here we go. Boom! Oh, I got you. I got you, cunts. I got him. This is my third one of these today, I think. Yeah. What on God's green earth am I? Fucking hell. Let's see. This is. This is my favourite one to do. If this had been around when I was alive, I'd be doing this every second of every day. And you lot just take it for granted, I bet. Though, ever seen a ghost walk on the moon before? I've been practicing this one. It'll get better, but if that was around when I was, you'd probably get hanged for doing that, you know, witchcraft and all. Though, I suppose they don't do that anymore, do they? No? No hangings? Yeah. I say it's about time, right? Because God forbid a married woman, you know, give you a good time, and then her husband turns around, calls her a witch, and then she's dead and buried by morning. Which is a shame, because the best head I ever got was from a witch. Hang on. Fucking hell. Why is it always birds that are the ones into ghosts? Just one of these days, I'd like to be called upon, you know, sucked into one of these and getting a good fucking wank. It's been so long since I've had a good bloody wank. You know, that's the thing they don't tell you about death, right? Got to jerk it while you can, yeah. Oh, there are a lot of yous, alright. Who are you lot? I will figure it out myself then. Hello, ghost friend. Jesus Christ. This is an interview. Answer whatever question pleases you. And when you start to feel hot, please touch the lamb. Touch the lamb? Fuck, am I a genie? Touch the lamb. Oh, fuck. No, alright, what's this then? What is your name? Well, it's actually been so long since I died, I haven't got a fucking clue, have I? Teddy, Jerome, Bartholomew. He's pretty cool, but that doesn't sound right. Dave. No. Alright, I might not be able to remember my name, but pretty cool. I can materialise a little bit. It's no biggie, it's just only a grade A poltergeist can do that, you know? Biting, scratching, bruising, barking, etc. You know, I can't feel every once in a while when chicks dig it. Well, they think they're being haunted and not assaulted. Boo! Tough crowd. It feels good to stretch my legs, you know, stuck in that bloody crypt so long, you know, tour after tour. Oh, this is the most haunted grave in the world, the most notorious poltergeist. You might even get a pinch, man. I feel like a fucking caged animal, mate, you know, dance, monkey, dance. And so I do, you know. I throw some punches, I kick as hard as I can, and I smile for a Polaroid every once in a while. If that's what they still use, I don't know. I don't even remember how I died. Tour guide, Jeff, he repeated loads, sure, but his voice is just so monotone, I just tune it out. You know, he's like, welcome to blah 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 graveyard. My name is Jeffrey and I'll be your tour guide today. His voice just reeks of puberty, which is impossible because the bloke's fucking ancient. I don't know how he does it. But he just goes in one ear, right out the other. I don't know if it was consumption, execution, murder, or something really boring like the plague. Just know, right, I'm really fucking old. Oh, not too old though for you, sweetheart. Hey. Cheeky. Oh, alright. I'll get on with the interview, right? Down to the nitty gritty. Well, let's see. I mean, these questions. That's pretentious, that's stupid, irrelevant. Oh, this one's boring. No, I know what you really want to know, right? I'm sort of a veteran of these kinds of things, you know. Yeah, one time I even got summoned to the Paris catacombs. Yeah, that was an honour, right? And it's like a museum for us ghosts. No, I'm just fucking with you, yanking your chain. It was boring as shit, mate. It was just a couple punks messing around with some candles, didn't know what they was doing. We was just in a dark tunnel, nothing to see, except some bones. There's just miles and miles of femurs. Contrary to popular belief, I haven't seen many bones in my hauntings. Obviously, just my own. You get curious after a while, right? You know, spending so long in your own crib. Oh, what does my dead body look like? But to be honest, I was too wigged out to look at mine for decades, and by the time I finally did, you know, I found me bowls. I was just a pile of bones, which looked identical to the pile of bones underneath Paris. Yeah. We all look the same in the end, I suppose. You think there'd be a lot of us down there in the catacombs, ghosts? But we're not as common as you might think. No, there's no tea time single mixers for us. Life after death is just as fucking lonely as life and life, from what I remember. Oh! That's what you want to know! I know you fuckers, it's all the same, innit? What is life after death? Is there anything in the great beyond? My answer is I haven't got a fucking clue, have I? Because I've been stuck here, Lord knows how many fortnights. She doesn't even have anything cool set out. Sometimes these seances, they have music, especially in the 1970s or whatever. They were like super empathetic then. They were like, oh, what if the guys want to listen to Led Zeppelin and eat scones? We don't get that red carpet rollout anymore. I'm even lucky if I get a full source of energy like this, yeah. A lamp and some pieces of paper, the portrait of luxury nowadays. Usually it's just some kid with a candle in his bedroom. Then that's like super fun because then you get to fuck with the parents! Possess the kid, you know, throw up everywhere, run around, and you get to stab over the bed with a knife, and then, I don't know, bite the dog, bite the dad, meow, and you speak in tongues, except I don't know any tongues, so I usually just say the words to God Save the Queen, but backwards. Does the trick. Sounds pretty demonic, and most adults don't know the difference. Though sometimes getting to possess a kid is sort of special, right? Because sometimes the parents don't notice right away that their kid isn't their kid, and they just treat you nice. You know, they tuck you in, they brush your hair, they give you little butterfly kisses or whatever. And they let you draw with crayons, which is pretty fucking sick. I definitely did not have those when I was alive. Anyway, where was I? Yeah, where the fuck am I actually? You. Speak. Where am I?
The Heart School.
Come again.
Shit, the Heart School!
I don't know what the fuck that is. Where is that? What? Where?
We're in Connecticut!
Connecticut? Is
Yeah.
that 50 states?
America, yes!
America? America?
Yeah.
America?
Yeah.
Mate, that's the farthest I've gone, surely. And America's boring as shit. Alright. Peace out, losers. Ooh. Oh, wow. Okay. I mean, technically, I didn't see the ghost because he was like in me or whatever. But I think it still counts. I'm gonna count it. I think, yeah, that counts. It was different than I thought it was going to be. He was so like, I don't know. But it wasn't scary. No, it wasn't scary. No, I watch all these movies, right? Like scary movies with like axe murderers and ghosts, and it's fucking terrifying. But I like being scared because it feels like how it felt when I was a kid, and I was excited at the possibility of things going bump in the night, and I was excited about what could be in the unknown instead of anxious, when I was excited to experience life. And I've been chasing that fleeting feeling, I think, for forever, that bubbling in the chest, right here. And I wish I could just, bend my ribs back and let it all out. And if scaring myself with books and films and ghost stories to feel like a kid again that's excited, I do it. And it's funny, all you want as a kid is to grow up. And now all I want is to see life as a kid. And this was that exact feeling, but without the fear. Oh my God, I was like on fire. I was glowing. I was uncontainable. To see through him as me, as one. That's the most intimate thing I've ever experienced. We should do it again, right? Yeah, okay. Man, I wish I knew his name. I tried to reach for it through the fog or whatever. It was right there on the tip of my tongue, but I couldn't get it. He couldn't get it. Oh my God, I want to know him more. Do you think he'd come back if we called? I quite liked him. Pretty cool. My palms, they're like tingly. How like when you rub them into something like textured or press them into bark, like I can still feel his hand as my hands. Can't believe it's real. Okay. Okay. We're in this together, right? Okay, you are my witnesses. My diary, my scientific field journal. Let's go again. Okay. These are not my tits, please. Okay, is this some sort of like a Freaky Friday situation? Who did I switch with, the rando? I don't know. This is so weird. Hang on. What's this? Hello, ghost friend. Ghost. Ghost. Ghost is in dead ghost. As in me, I'm ghost friend. As in me, I'm dead. That's what just fucking happened. Like just dead, just like poof, dead, gone. I'm not ready to go yet. I'm at the top of my game, right? I'm chapter president of my sorority. I have fresh balayage. I'm on the dean's list, and I just received a grant for my research project, and now I'm fucking dead. And whatever this meat sack is, I mean, what is this? Some sort of podcast or something? Someone to like jump out of the bushes, like hashtag get ghost pranked, because that's what I am, guys, right? I don't know. I just died, and this is a lot. Okay. Hey, what the fuck is this? Some like 5-year-old seance? I mean, what? There's no candles. There's no hand holding around an old person's table. There's no crystal ball or like deck of cards. I mean, she didn't even add any pizzazz to the calligraphy. Jesus. My sorority's joke seances in October are better than this, even though we all know Becky's the one moving the Ouija board. Okay. Interview questions. What does this say? Do you remember your final? Do I remember my final moments? Well, I hope so. They just fucking happened. Okay. I was walking home from our danger, and that's like a day rager, like a rager, like in the day, in the daylight. Yeah, I got killed in the motherfucking daylight. Who does that? I mean, I got killed and no one saw or helped or whatever. Oh my God, I got killed. I got murdered. Ooh, okay. I did not have time to process that. My death was fast. It was like, blast out, poof, and I'm here. This is hell, right? I mean, this has got to be hell. I mean, being thrown in front of an audience with like no lines is like one of my reoccurring nightmares. That's like everyone's reoccurring nightmare, right? You're not demons that are gonna like peel my skin off my face when I'm done talking, are you? Should I just keep talking to make sure that doesn't happen? Yeah, I'm just gonna keep talking to make sure that doesn't happen. Oh my God, I fucking died. Oh my God, I died. Oh my God, oh my God. Please don't eat me! Okay, so just a seance then? Cool. I can rock with that. Just a seance with a ghost. Ghost who just became a ghost, who just died on campus on our way home. Awesome! I'm guessing it was some sort of like a frat bro that did it, or like it could have been a stranger, or like someone who planned it. I don't know. Don't look at me like that. My death was fast. Again, blessed, poof, and I'm here. Oh, bitch! I bet it was Becky. Ooh, yeah, because I got voted president over her, you know. I think I'd rather it be someone I knew, even just like in passing, like someone I like ghosted after a party or cheated out of a position, or I don't know, like ran over their cat or killed their mom. Not that I've done that. Hypothetically. You know, because yeah, like 9 times out of 10 it's someone you know, right? Because if it was like a nobody who just saw me, just decided to just like out of nowhere to just like, I mean, who does that? And at least let there be a reason for my life. Because if it was for nothing, I don't live my life by nothings. There's always something. And I was raised religious, and my mom really hated me going into a STEM field. Oh my God. My mom, she doesn't even know that I'm dead. No, because even in science, there's always something. There's life logic, nature, it's structure, the Fibonacci sequence, right? There's reasonings, patternings in our very cellular structure, and even the most random landscapes or organs or emotions, they all served a purpose, right? I served a purpose, and I had more purpose to give, and I can't believe, no! I won't believe that someone would just see me and just decide to just out of nowhere to just snuff me out. So yeah. It must have been Becky. She always had this like darkness behind her eyes, and it was just like, oh my God. Because I'm like my mom and my friends and fucking Sam and my professors, they would have no reasoning, no reconciliation, and like the longer I'm here, the more, I don't know, settled I'm becoming, but they don't get that. They're not dead, they're not here. To them, I just like, out of thin air. And they don't know that I'm gone, that I'm here, that I'm still here! Oh, ooh, oh my God, it's so fucking hot in here. Oh, the paper said to touch, but no, because I'm not ready to go yet. No, I'll answer one more of your questions, and then I'll leave. I'll see what's waiting for me when I'm not tied to the warmth anymore. Oh God, I hope it's not too cold. I fucking hate the cold. And, people always ask, would you rather be too cold or too hot when you sleep? And I would rather sleep too hot, so I can just be uncomfortably hot for just like a second longer. I'll answer one more question. Okay, make sure it's a good one. What was your happiest memory? Oh God. Okay. This isn't like my happiest one, I don't think, but it's my most recent happy one, and my real happy one is probably some shit like my mom teaching me how to ride a bike or going to Disneyland or something if you're measuring by like serotonin levels or whatever, but it was fast, okay? I didn't get the whole like life flashing before your eyes thing that everyone talks about. But this was recently, so I remember. It was like a week ago. I was with Sam, slept over, this guy that was seeing. I don't know what we were really, and I guess I'll die wondering. Stupid. But waking up with him, his hand on mine, and his knuckles were washed in these triangles of daylight creeping in through the curtain. And I never had that peace, especially not with a man before. And I remember thinking in that moment, I was like, remember this exact moment, like write a poem about it or some shit in your diary, because you might never get this again. I would have liked to wake up to that every morning. But I was right. I will never get it again. No, I don't accept that. I don't know what's waiting for me. The real laugh if God really was on the other side, but just know that I lived my life by purpose, and I will die by it. And whenever the sun shines through me, or whatever form I take, that will be my triangles of daylight. For being so young, she seemed herself well. Did she say how old she was? God, she must have been... That could have been me. You know, she could have gone to school with me. We could have been friends. Remember her, okay? She didn't say her name. She got stabbed recently, I guess, and she knew someone named Sam. We could find her. You know, go full investigator mode. Let's Scooby-Doo, split up and search for clues. But what if Sam doesn't remember her? I don't know, like a situationship like that. Like, sure, he left a big impact on her because she fucking died before she could try anything else, but to Sam, hell, 10 years from now, he probably won't give her a second thought, and 20, and he'll probably forget what she looks like and her name. So yeah, so she could spend her whole life tethered to the moment that was Sam. And I hope Sam remembers her. She wasn't as cold as the poltergeist. She was quite warm. Actually, I was starting to sweat a little bit, if I'm being super honest. So take note of that, right? Because I was ready to leave. The fog was lifting, but she wouldn't let go, and it was uncomfortable. I'll just say that. Like she overstayed her welcome in the natural scheme of things. It didn't feel right. I guess none of this feels right, and I don't know, I don't think she wanted to hurt me or anything. Still, it felt weird. I don't know, but 2 is not enough to find a pattern. Okay, we have to meet someone else? Yeah. Okay, we'll meet someone else. Okay. Whew, okay. Yeah, on to the next echo, right? Let's see who the fuck we get.
Много дышат.
A mind led by the heart might think I am no longer dead, but a mind led by the mind, by logic, knows that this is something else, something new, I will say. It is nice to feel warm again. Have any of you seen my son Alex? I could give you my address, but no, something tells me this is not the time for that. I left him alone, but no, not the time. Like a tugging at my... Oh, this is something? Yeah? Okay. This is an interview. Ooh. I'm not first one here, it seems. A vessel. Fascinating. I've never been to one of these interviews since I arrived. Well, since I died. I was full of excitement to be back until I looked down and saw I am not in body a 40-year-old Russian man, which is what I was over there, or here now. A Russian man, father, husband, if you wanted to know for your interview. A ghost interview. Okay, strange, but I will play nice. Let's see. This one is covered. What did you leave behind? It is a foolish question. What don't we all leave behind? Hopefully we leave behind understanding and love. If you were loved, you inevitably leave it behind. I left lots of love behind, waiting for me at my doorstep. Lot of love seeping into driveway for me to pull in, and until I didn't pull in. It is small blessing you must count, not to see your son's face when his father does not pull into driveway. I hope he did not have to beg. I hope that they found me quickly. I hope I was found at all, though if I was, perhaps I would not be here with you all. I don't quite know how this works. All I know is that it was gray and cold and grainy, and now it is not. Ooh. Were you hippie in life? Was a hippie? Sure. A wife, a patient, a child. What more could you ask for? My wife. She loved puzzles, not tabletop ones, no, logic puzzles. And when we get to America, escape rooms. She will fiddle with the wooden and the metal puzzles during Jeopardy, and I never understood it. They were stressful to me, but it was like compulsion for her little hippiness. Yeah, my happiness was little more dangerous. On July 21st, 2013, I went into that cave, and I will never let myself forget that date. You know, things get jumbled here, but I never forget that date. It was the same rush as always, adrenaline overwhelming every limb, the wonder, the marvel. Can my body fit in these places? Can I cheat the earth and explore her calloused heart? There is an ancient temple in Japan, the great Buddha Hall that I took my family to. And in this temple there is a small hall in wooden pillars said to grant good fortune to those who pass through it. And we watched our son scramble through with ease. And then as I watched as my wife wiggled her way through, and on the other side, I help her up, and she says to me, I think I can understand, maybe a little why you do it. And her cheeks were flushed, and she had the same about her as she did when we exchanged our vows. And I could barely understand what she was trying to say to me, because all I could see was her in her wedding dress. The cave exploring, she said. And we've been married 11 years at that point, and her eyes cloud on the porch every time I leave for an expedition. I think she thought the cave exploring was my version of having a man cave. To get away from everything from her. Well, she looked at me. After crawling through a hole 37 by 30 centimeters wide and 110 centimeters deep, which in cave would be pretty tight squeeze, and it's like solving a puzzle with your body, she said. And to me, in that moment, we renewed our vows. a shared understanding. It was never about leaving her behind, but July 21st, 2013, after 2 decades of exploring her every crevice, the earth finally kept me all to herself. It is nice to feel warm again, but it is getting a little uncomfortable now. Though one is never comfortable in the cave, so I am used to it. Too cold, too damp, too hot, too much carbon monoxide. I could not breathe. What I am breathing again is miracle, no. Oh, it feels good. I have never been to one of these interviews, but what is to stop me from keeping breathing? A world without consequence is a dangerous game. Alex waits alone on porch for father to come home, but father asphyxiates alone in the cave. And now father finds himself here, on the same plane as his child. Does he not have an obligation to relieve the child of waiting? I do not mean any harm, but if you do not provide rules to the game, I will not abide by any. I must see my son again, don't you understand? A second chance is not often granted to those in my line of life. And this time, no more danger. Just love. Love I will not leave behind. No, if you hid Alex, you would let me go to him, please. Please. No, I don't want, I can't go back. I have to see my son again. No, see, I have to go see my son. No, please, don't make me go back. Please, I have to see him. Get the fuck out of my body. No, Suka, please, I have to see my son. No, please, please. Alex! Ow. Fuck. Okay. Oh. Ow. Give me a minute. Okay. That wasn't what I wanted it to be. But it still isn't enough for me to stop, I don't think. Because I can understand why he did that, you know? And I figured, you know, one of them might try and overstay their welcome, and maybe I got too cocky and I slipped up safety-wise, and I got too comfortable, too trusting. Like, if I had a kid, I'd probably try and do that too. And a part of me just wanted him to just walk right through that door. Just to see, you know, if his kid was still waiting for him. You know? Like, did Alex survive that loss? Can someone survive the loss of a parent like that? Or is he still just waiting, doe-eyed on the porch? Because maybe he's a sensitive kid, Alex. And if he's already emotional and sensitive and a mess before, then what happened when he actually met grief? And so young. Did he become a different person than he was supposed to be? Did his life stop? Was he ready for that? And I know I said my big question isn't supposed to be what happens after we die. I know I said I don't give a fuck, and I don't, right? I care about connection, right? Life is all about connection and being together in the here and the now, but I'm just so fucking scared of grief. You know, I'm scared of what I'll do when it rears its head. I'm scared of making other people live with it if I leave and I don't come back. And every time I'm in a plane or a car, there's always that nagging, that tugging, you know, like, what if this is it? Like, if a meteor falls out of the sky, what would I do if I knew that this was the moment to end all moments? How would I want to spend it? Who would I want to spend it with? What would be the last thing I say? And would that even matter? Is that how people would remember me? By my famous last words? Well, what happens when we don't get words and it's just the sounds of us suffocating to death like our dead Russian friend? When I was 11, my best friend and I crossed a parking lot without looking both ways. And our mom chided us, and my friend said, oops, oops. And our mom pointed it out, you know, God, can you imagine if your last words were oops? We thought that was the funniest thing ever at the time. And now I'm like, what if? You know, would her mom be like, God, I love my daughter, and I'm so wrecked she's gone, but when she died, she said, oops. Oopsie doopsie. What a fucking bummer is that? Every time she thinks of her daughter's death, would she cry and laugh? Because I imagine I would laugh. Because we have an order to things, people. We rationalize death as if it could be rationalized. You know, that the parents have the children take care of the parents as they grow older, and then the parents die, and then the children mourn and honor and learn to grieve. And it's a circle. Sometimes that circle gets broken and it ends up more of a spiral, a death spiral, a spiral out of life. So yeah, maybe your mom would laugh inappropriately every time she thinks of oops. Because parents are not built to grieve their children. And so I just, you know, think like, what if a car just came barreling through an intersection because it's common, because there is no order? So that car might just come barreling through and we just don't know. And the thing that keeps me here, more than anything, more than all I want to still say and do and experience in my ego, is how fucking scared I am to leave my dad. You know, like, how dare I break the circle and leave him with that grief? So buckle the fuck up, right? Because I'm not ready to give up on this experiment. And if I can see how people deal with losing those connections to other people, collect that data, then maybe it'll be a little less goddamn awful when it happens to me. But I don't have my costume, and I cannot perform not without my costume. I'm sorry, folks. I have a debilitating condition of stage fright, and it's plagued me my entire life. I roll my head. Ow! Ow! Grease paint! Grease paint! Oh, thank goodness! Thank goodness! Do-do-do-do. Ha-da-da. the only time I was comfortable in front of a lot of people was when I was in my grease paint. You know, and it was just, my whole shtick was just Lotso! Because Lotso isn't me. You know, Lotso is Lotso! I forget people don't find endless joy in clowns anymore. Not young people anyway. Too old. Grown-ups don't like it, but kids usually love it. You know, nothing quite as magical as a child's birthday party, I say. The unnatural smell of a Costco cake. A father icing his bald head after a piñata baseball bat attack. The kitschy and niche theming like Paw Patrol, Alice in Wonderland, princesses, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Oh, the imagination on these kids, I tell you. But those are the good parents, the ones who indulge in those whimsies. Even if they don't have the funds for it, the good ones will make it happen. You know, digging through a dumpster behind Barnes & Noble for enough cardboard to DIY a princess castle! That's love. So if I can be the extension of a parent's love for their child every Saturday and Sunday afternoon, it makes it all worth it. Because not every child gets that kind of love, you know? They don't get the time or the permission to be a kid, to have things taken care of. You know, to have a birthday clown show up at your birthday, even when no one else might. A child's birthday party depends on love, coming from somewhere. I imagine this is some sort of like a coma nightmare. I can't imagine a world in which I'd be up here in front of you all, telling you all this. I wonder how many years have gone by. Oh! Maybe you know, as my subconscious, and can tell me. Here, I'll start with the year I went to sleep, and then you count up. Here, Lotso will count you through it. 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025, 2026, 2027, 2026! Oh my, that's a long time! Do you think people have hated clowns for that long? Grown-ups, 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 grown-ups. Kids still love it! Oh, at least they did when I went to sleep. Shoo, shoo, shoo. Wait. No. The last birthday party I did before walking home that night, the children saw me. Oh, and they cried. That had never happened to Lotso before. Lotso makes all of them giggle. Oh, but then the movie It came out. And kids saw It. And now they're scared of me. And grown-ups. I didn't ask for that depiction. I didn't ask to be scary. I only wanted to be loved. And to give that love back. And that's what I tried to tell those boys. You know, I wasn't hurting anyone. I just wanted to go home. And yeah, maybe I still had my grease paint on. I didn't like that the children cried. I didn't want to be in that house anymore, you know, spend the time in their guest bathroom to wipe off all my makeup. I just wanted to go home as fast as I could, so yeah, I was still Lotso walking home. And I don't know. All my time asleep, I haven't made sense of it. All I know is that I was rushing home, and then out of the woods came these teens. I don't know. I live near a college town, you know. I thought they were just coming to rag on me, you know, grown man as a part-time birthday clown. To leer and jeer and throw something. maybe egg or something. You know, I have a special enzyme cleaner for my clown suit to get the egg off it. But I got hit by a baseball bat. Whack! No egg cracking, just my head. And blood as red as my grease paint oozing from my temple into my eye. And another whack! Oh. I'd seen a trend on YouTube, but I didn't pay much mind to the creepy clown sightings because it made us look bad, you know? I didn't want to spend the energy on it, but I guess it must have been a big deal. I don't know. It was the eighth hit to my body that made me fall asleep. And I've been waiting here ever since to wake up! Sorry, I'm a rambler. Do you have anything to tell me? I haven't really looked around yet. You know, I have the craziest dreams sometimes, and I think maybe it's my subconscious giving me clues for how to wake up. You know, I've heard people have these crazy coma experiences, and they have these dreams that relate to them waking up, and they go on their own hero's journey, and I don't know, I read about it in the science magazine I'm subscribed to. Ow! A clue! Hello, ghost friend. Ooh, I wonder what that means. A code, maybe a metaphor, perhaps. Shh, shh, shh. This is an interview. Oh, hi. I've always wanted to be interviewed, be on TV maybe, though, as you know, too shy, stage fright. Answer whatever question please you. Question. Oh! Oh! These are all questions! Oh my, that's a lot of questions. Oh, Lotso will have to stay brave. But Lotso doesn't get stage fright. I do, remember? Okay. And when you start to feel hot, please touch the lamp. Oh, well, I am rather toasty. I always overheat my grease paint. Well, I suppose that that's what my dream is telling me to do. Maybe I'll finally wake up this time. Oh! Dun, 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 dun. Goodbye. It has been terrifying talking to you all. Oh, fingers crossed I see my dog. I have to feed him when I wake up. Oh my God. The day Lotso died, it was so vivid in his head. You know, all those boys' faces, the ones that beat him to death, they were like Francis Bacon portraits up there. And his mind was still so kind. I don't know, if I were being beaten to death, I don't think I'd remember the baby fat hanging heavy off of one of the boys' faces. I think I just remember how scared I was, how scary they looked. You saw the intricacies in their eyes, how one's nose looked like it had been broken as a boy. You saw so much humanity in the teenagers that killed him. Do you think they remember him as much as he remembers them? Because he gave so much to everyone, and they took it. They took what he had to give, but did they keep it? Or are pieces of his soul just left behind, rotting in garbage dumps across America? You know, and then the fog was lifted, and he could kind of see almost all of him, and he knew lots of people. But they were connections like you'd have with a friendly coworker, a bunkmate at a summer camp, a one-night stand after a club, fleeting. And I just want to know, do they remember us as much as we remember them, because I feel like I give, and I give, and I give, and I give, even just to the most fleeting connection that I just want to know, do I leave as loud of an echo in their life as they leave in mine? And I wish we could just remember all of it. Everyone. Every little stupid detail our brain forgets to make room for something it deems more important. But why can't we have it all? Like, why can't I remember my first kiss and what my childhood cat smelled like? You know, it's like a fading film negative. It'll never be clearer than in that moment. So most of us will probably forget Lotso after right now, but I want to try not to. I don't want to leave him behind. We could tell him that he's dead, clearly enough so he doesn't misinterpret it, help him move on. I want someone to do that for me, and I want to do that for a loved one, finish their business, help them move on, so that I can move on, if I ever figure out how to, but people do, right, eventually. When it happens. And I want it back. Okay. Okay. Again. You are not in coma. You are dead. A little harsh, but it's the truth. Do you think if we all, chanted his name or something, he'd come back? I don't know, let's try it. Okay, yeah. Lotso, 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 Lotso. Lotso. It's cold. What do you miss the most about life? I don't know. Driving, I guess. I miss driving the most. That's what you want to know, right? Did you want to die? I didn't want to. I just like the wind ruffling my jacket, dancing with my hand across the street. I didn't mean to. I didn't know they'd be going that fast. I just stepped off the lip of the curb. The PCH. I was at the beach. It was one last sunset, and I didn't look on purpose. No, I forgot. No, I didn't. Quit asking! It's none of your business if you ask me. What do you want from me? I don't have anything more to give. Quit looking at me like that. Oh, they are looking, aren't they? Why are you still here? I don't know. like looking at it, but I don't look at it much anymore. Still, it's nice to know that it's there. I know it's there. It's constant. It won't leave. I know it won't. I know it won't. I can feel it right now. It's right over my shoulder, isn't it? You know how you can feel the wind like it's carrying the whole ocean straight to you? Isn't it beautiful? Oh, I don't feel much wind nowadays, though, either. There was a lot of wind lapping at my face, and then BAM! Wasn't any wind anymore. Loads of cars, though. Probably thousands a day on that corner, and they look all funny now. But I like the big boxy ones, the Jeeps, you know, high up, no roofs, the ones that look like army tanks. And I had about a couple dozen of those green army men as a boy, and I'll grow up to be one of those men. I will. But instead, everyone grew into those men around me. And then they left to go be those brave men in Nam, and then they didn't come back. And it was just all my friends, just gone. They left me alone. Daddy always said make a difference, but if there's no one around to hear you, are you even talking? Because I wasn't. I should have. I was supposed to go with them, but I didn't because I was nearsighted, far-sighted, I had scoliosis, I was a man enough, I was a hippie, I was a bum, I was frightened, I don't remember. And I should have died in the jungle too, but I didn't. Did I make my daddy proud? Oh, Uncle Sam, are you watching me? Advice? There's a crock of shit. You want my advice? Huh? No, you don't want my advice. You want a ghost's advice, a big, scary ghost, and you don't want my advice. Hey, you don't want my advice. You don't want my advice, and you don't want me, and they didn't want me. You should be careful messing around with us. Your body could be looking like a corpse right about now. Count your lucky stars. Any advice for us on the side of the living? Fuck do I know. My heart stopped when theirs did, and I was just withering away until it was my time to go be with them. But I made myself invisible. And if you're invisible in life, you will be invisible in death. And no one will know you anywhere. found him. I think that's the last ghost that we should meet. I think it's time to stop searching and just be here together. Just love. I'm gonna go hug my dad. Thank you for coming. Okay, I would like to thank John Pike, the honors coordinator and producer. Thank you, Lisa Landiger, the associate producer, and thank you, Danielle Kendall, the HPAC operations manager, who not only booked all my rooms, but also sourced enough chairs for an audience tonight, because 12 angry jurors stole them all. I would like to thank the theater division head and also my faculty advisor for this project, Kevin Ramsey, who sophomore year told me to consider writing a one-woman show, The Ultimate Challenge. Thank you for believing in me and pushing me to be the best artist that I can be. I would like to thank my stage manager, Olivia Saxton, and my lightboard operator, Angelica Easley. They both jumped into a 2-week rehearsal process, ready to roll, with not no time on the show, and they just hopped in, and not only do they have an incredible work ethic, but also you are such joys to work with. Thank you. And I would like to thank my assistant director, Skylar Wright, who was one of my favorite collaborators in all of my artistic endeavors. Thank you for everything. I could not have done this without you. And thank you to my friends for your constant support. I love you all very much. And lastly, I would like to thank my dad for not only your ghost stories, but for rehearsing with me every day. Even when your days were shitty, you still showed up for me and believed in me, and I love you so much. Thank you all.
Are we still rolling? Oh, she dropped.
She would come out of it, she would like, this feels some Just put some bars over it. It was bar after bar. That was bar after bar. Like,